Rob Parker there. We're playing tonight. We've got the Super League fixtures, and then we're about 3 minutes away from kick-off, and Dave will take on from there. Hull FC play Castleford, KC, Leeds against Huddersfield, Warrington against St Helens, Wigan against Catalan, and Widnes against Bradford. Now, 2 minutes away from kick-off, hand you over to Dave Parkinson.
Yes, and hello and welcome to this Leigh against Sheffield Round 6 Kingstone Press Championship encounter. Through Leigh on Video, we'd like to thank our sponsors Ascot Office Supplies and the Shield Gardening Company, and through LeighLife.com, Leigh Sports Village and Widows Mason Solicitors. The support is invaluable over the course of the season. I'm Dave Parkinson, I'm alongside Derek Disley, and this evening I'd like to introduce Joe Whiteley to the team, and we hope that we're in for a really good game this evening.
Me too, Dave. Hopefully keep me warm. I've got my flask anyway. It's a bit colder than it was last Sunday. It was cold enough then.
Just a little bit. Derek, your thoughts ahead of tonight's game before we bring the two sides?
Tough encounter, David, no doubt. They are the reigning champions, of course. They've won twice in the playoffs in the last 2 seasons. But in the early season, Leigh seemed to get the better of them in the league matches. Let's hope that prevails this evening.
This is true. I mean, Sheffield have ended Leigh's interest in the playoffs for the last 3 seasons. Let's hope that we don't make it 4th time lucky, and let's hope that the Centurions can come up with victory tonight. Let's have a run through the two sides who will take the field. Starting off with the Centurions, fullback is Greg McNally. Wingers are Steve Maiden and Jonathan Pownall. Centre Stuart Littler and Matt Gardner. Halfbacks Martin Ridyard and Ryan Briley, who is up towards the top end of the championship scorers once more. A front row of James Taylor, Bob Bezic and Rob Parker. A back row of Simon Finnegan overcoming injury, Tommy Goulden and Sam Hopkins, with a bench of Sean Penkovic, Tom Spencer, who has been allowed to play in this one despite seemingly being recalled by Wigan from loan just a couple of days ago, Craig Briscoe alongside Ryan Duffy. Sheffield Eagles, they line up at fullback Quintin Lelu Tongagai, wingers Scott Turner and Missy Telapapa, centres Menzi Yeri and Tom Armstrong. Armstrong, of course, a former Leigh Centurions player, fabled for his try that he scored, which helped win Leigh the Northern Rail Cup back in 2011. The halfbacks are former Dewsbury pair, Pat Walker and Dominic Rambani. A front row of Liam Higgins, Andrew Henderson and Mitch Stringer, which boasts Super League experience. And a back row of Michael Knowles, Dwayne Straffer, Joe Hurst, James Davitt, Peter Green, Alex Shostak and Jack Harrison are the benchmen. And we're just awaiting for the arrival of the Centurions. The referee for tonight's game, Mr. George Stokes. We could play him for plenty of whistle.
Well, we had him the last home match. Why have we got him again, David? Is he the only one?
I think we must have, plumped and probably ended up with the wrong call. But anyway, we're still waiting for the teams to line up. Certainly the Centurions to get out on the field. It appears Paul Rowley is keeping the Eagles waiting. And why not? You've got to make home advantage count.
The match officials are not here either, so they're not
trying to drag them
without
out.
Anybody at the moment. Sheffield are going to be freezing to death, we hope.
Here do come the Centurions, led out by skipper Rob Parker, who missed last week's game up at Keighley. A notable absentee from the Centurions lineup tonight is Martin Aspinwall. Let's hope that he's back from his injury soon enough. And Leigh look very focused, don't they, Derek?
Oh, they need to be. It'll be right from the off. They've got to get up and get at this big Eagles pack and stop them in their tracks. Leigh will need to take control of the centre of the field this evening, one feels, because Sheffield, not only do they have a big pack, they have a very strong and elusive back five as well.
And one of the best point scoring records in the division as well. So everybody's out on the field. We're just awaiting for the whistle from referee George Stokes. The shrill blast sounds and Brambani gets us underway with a deep kick-off. Underneath that one is Ryan Briley, who spins on his axis and brings Rob Parker funneling his way through to the 20-metre line. He's rolled over and put on his back just inside the 20-metre line by Liam Higgins was one of the tacklers, Mitch Stringer the other. Now Stuart Littler, just a sensible drive. There was a hint of a flop there. Leigh run from dummy half, trying to test out the Eagles markers. Bob Bezic it was. He plays it to McNally, who shuffled the ball left for Taylor, who makes an easy 10 metres up to the 40-metre line. Centurions still inside their own half. Ridyard spotted half a gap, but it was soon closed in front of him down this left-hand side. Last tackle has been signalled. Ball to the right hand side to McNally, who completes the first set with a deep kick into the top right corner. Sheffield get back to collect, and it's Scott Turner, who had a great run in towards the back end of the season, scored lots of tries, but he's run straight into the shoulder of Tommy Goulden and James Taylor. That's not recommended.
Not at all, but this is where Leigh will be tested early doors, if they can contain them on this first set of 6. And who knows, force the error as well. Leigh need a good start.
Sheffield just outside their own 20-metre line, now pushing to the 30 through Michael Knowles. Knowles, one of the most underrated players in the Championship, plays it back, and Henderson spins it to big Mitch Stringer. Did time at London. He gets the ball away to Henderson, who spent 5 years with Castleford. Henderson all funneled to the deck though. Leigh have done a good containment job in this set and forced Brambani to kick from inside his own 30. It's allowed to bounce though by Pownall, and then Pownall chased down by Tom Armstrong. And I don't think that he realised that Tom Armstrong was really bearing down on him then.
Well, the bad bounce fooled everybody, but this is a great break by Pownall. Is he going to take him on?
Brilliant play. He's got the ball away. Here's Ridyard. Ridyard running for the line. Ridyard in field. Ridyard holding off 2 players, but he's put down 2 metres out. Centurions go on the charge. Ball fed right. Long ball from Bezic. Here's McNally. Kicks for the corner. Oh, and the bounce just evaded everybody and somehow ends up back with Stuart Littler. And that was exciting play, wasn't it?
Brilliant break by Pownall. Leigh should have done better, I think, and they should have finished the job on that occasion. Let's hope they don't regret that missed opportunity.
Did you spot anything there, Joe?
I don't know how Pownall got back in that position. He got put down, didn't he? And then he was back up and he was making a break. It was great support play as well by Ridyard, and nice little kick from McNally, just very unlucky with the bounce.
Leigh 5 metres out, last tackle signal. It comes to the middle with Ridyard. He ships it to Brierley. Brierley chips it through. It's in front of Pownall. Pownall tries to ground it. Oh, but the bounce just evaded him and he couldn't quite get it down in the corner. It's out to the 20-metre line for the tap restart, and already the Centurions stretching Sheffield on both sides of the pitch.
But we see now tricky the bounce of a rugby league football can be. On 3 occasions it's hoodwinked Leigh so far this evening.
Good run from Mitch Stringer. Down the middle he comes. He evaded 2 tacklers. Eventually rolled over on his back outside of his own 30-metre line. Ball sent left to Michael Knowles, former Castleford and Gateshead player. He's quickly met by Stuart Littler in the defensive duties. He'll stand and play to Henderson. Henderson in field, looks for the rotund figure of Liam Higgins, another former Castleford player. He'll stand and play it just inside his own half. That was a short pass down the left-hand side, pivot forward.
The last 2 passes from acting half-back have been forward.
Now Stringer. Good step from him, takes him inside Leigh half the field. He's 40 metres out from the try line. Sheffield trying to put the pressure on. It's the last tackle though. Henderson goes left. Kick comes in from Pat Walker. Walker dabs his kick in behind McNally, who's got work to do, collects it in behind his own line, and he's got past Menzieri, but couldn't get past another 3 players who are holding him up and sending him back towards his own line. Referee eventually shouts held, but they're still holding on to him. McNally plays it. Now Steve Maiden runs from dummy half. Leigh deep inside their own quarter and winning the first penalty of the game.
Bit of relief for the Centurions that, David, because Mr Stokes let them get away with a bit there on McNally.
Just looking at their front row, it's going to be a nice little battle when Duffy comes on, isn't it? With Higgins and Stringer, they're 2 big boys in the middle of them, aren't they, Dave?
It could get rather cosy, couldn't it?
And there are 2 more big ones on the bench as well.
Great kick to touch, meanwhile, by Ridyard from that penalty. It's put Leigh inside Eagles half the field. And as Derek mentioned before, the Eagles do come into this game as reigning champions. And Leigh in possession. Good hit coming in on Taylor, really good hit.
There he is, the big man, isn't he? Liam Higgins came out of nowhere and flattened him.
Liam Higgins absolutely blasted James Taylor. It's usually Taylor who's putting the hits in.
And certainly is. Taylor will have felt that one.
So it means that the error has been forced. Good tackle coming in from Liam Higgins. Sheffield to take possession, 30 metres out from their own line. Referee not happy with how the scrum was formed on that 30-metre line. Pat Walker will feed, collects it at the base, sends it right, looking for Armstrong. Armstrong upended in the tackle. Good tackle it was too. Finnegan and Hopkins leading the way. Now Henderson darts, gets over the 40-metre line. Finnegan's all over him like a rash. Gardner's there too. Quick play the ball, however. Brambani sends it right. It's through the hands with Armstrong. Big strong run from Armstrong down this right-hand side. Took 3 players with him, and he'll play it 40 metres from the lead line. Henderson will dart in field again. He's obviously been given instructions to run at this lead defence as Henderson.
Certainly has, but Ridyard spotted the run quickly.
It's been a bright start to this game. Sheffield still in possession though. It's Hurst. Put down 25 metres out from the lead line. Brambani on the last. Will dab it down the right side. McNally will get across to just cover it. And that was actually really good defence, wasn't it, from Missy Telepapa?
I think McNally thought it was going to go then, and he came out of nowhere, Telepapa, and just pinned him on the back of the in-goal area. So it's a drop out here from Leigh.
Leigh under a bit of pressure here, David.
Yeah, drop out coming out from underneath the Centurions post. McNally gains pretty good contact with it on the bounce. It will nutmeg Brambani and find the Sheffield half of the field. Strafford had to chase all the way back to collect. Then he runs it into the Leigh half, but only just. Controlled in a 3-man tackle. Leigh relishing these early hits in this game.
Very lucky there with that ball going through his legs. Normally when you do a drop out, you expect the opposition to be hitting you on your 30-metre line, but Sheffield are now only about 40 metres out, 2 tackles in.
Henderson left, moves it to Stringer. Stringer rides one challenge, gets the ball away, but it's only as far as Bezic, who'll send the ball left, looking for Finnegan. Long ball out to Pownall. Pownall really troubling Missy Telepapa down this right side. Leigh are putting their attack all down this left at the minute. Now Gardner takes over on a burning run, just looped round the play of the ball, collected the pass and made it as far as the Sheffield 40-metre line. Bezic off the deck to his right-hand side. Littler's there, gets the offload away in midfield. McNally links it with Briley, who does a little stepping run, only gains 5 metres though. Now it's played to Bezic, he shuffles it left, looking for Taylor. This time the defence finds him, but it doesn't force an error. Taylor, 25 metres out. Now Parker rampaging through the middle and told to get back and play it by the referee, despite no hands being on him.
I thought he had hold of his shirt, but like you say, there were no hands on him.
Last tackle, kick to the right-hand corner, comes in, it's contested and fallen for Sheffield. Pat Walker cleaning up matters there. But Leigh certainly are testing this Eagles defence out, aren't they?
But they're standing up to it quite well at the moment.
Sheffield on the edge of their own 20-metre line. It's going to be run by Quintin Lelutonga. He just gets outside the 20-metre line. Top scorer in the championship last year, 36 tries. He'll play it just outside the 20-metre line to Henderson, who sends it right, looking for Stringer. He links with Brambani. Brambani through the hands quickly. Strafford offloaded. It did look suspect. Armstrong with the run though, just took it outside the 30-metre line. Brambani into the middle with Quintin Lelutonga. Now Pat Walker, Leigh up quickly. Tommy Goulden's been in excellent form this last few games and he closed him down really well there. Henderson off the deck to his right to Brambani, who is rushed into the kick. Lengthy kick downfield, all the way down the ground. McNally collects it in midfield. On the loop is Pownall. Pownall will now take the defence on, right in the middle of the ground.
Fair play to the Eagles, though. They're trying to play a bit of rugby even inside their own half, aren't they? They're throwing the ball out wide, trying to create something, but it just didn't happen for them that time.
Gardner 22 metres out from his own line. The ball comes to the middle with Hopkins, who crashes through for a 10-metre gain, gets up quickly, plays it. Steve Maiden spots a little gap, then funnels his way downfield. That is excellent metres. He's made nearly 20 yards then. All down the middle of the ground. Bezic to his left. Ridyard completes the set. Deep kick in just behind the players. Then it takes a bit of a leg break, does the ball. Clean up by Tunga on his own 10-metre line.
This ball's doing funny things this evening, isn't it?
Certainly is. We've already heard players complaining about these rhino balls. And Sheffield still trying to come forward, giving the ball a bit of air now down the left-hand side, eventually straightening things up is Knowles. There was 3 passes put in there, so they're obviously trying to test Leigh on the flanks.
Leigh seem to be making a lot more yards with their sets of 6, but they can't break them down. It's a bit of a battle for field position at the minute with these kicks on the last tackle.
Stringer out to the right to Hurst. Delays his pass for Armstrong. Armstrong takes on Pownall. Good tackle from the youngster. Brought Armstrong down to size. The eagle was landed. Kick comes in, all down the ground by Brambani. It's an angled one, just in behind the Leigh defence. It bounces up awkwardly. Gives Steve Maiden work to do, and he does it well. Cleared his lines perfectly. 12 metres gained. Centurions still inside their own 20-metre line. Littler to his left. Leigh keeping the ball alive. They've worked a bit of an opening there, just temporarily for Gardner, but he's cut back on the inside. Eventually clears the 20-metre line. Leigh really linking play together inside their own 20.
Well, both sides are trying to find the gaps, but both defences are on top at the moment.
Littler to the 30. A veering run, eventually tackled by Stringer. Bezic back over his shoulder to Taylor, who straightens up the move. Gets out towards the 40-metre line. Bezic to his right, uses Hopkins. Hopkins, oh, you could hear the thwack of the tackle from here. Knowles really did hit him. Referee's patience holding despite them sneaking offside. Kick comes in from Ridyard on the last. Quintin Lutonga guy takes it inside his own 20. Rounds Ryan Briley. Gets away from Ridyard. Couldn't escape the clutches though of that tackle from Rob Parker.
Yeah, that was a bit of poor defence by the Centurions. They let the full-back make 15 metres on that occasion.
To be fair, it's only the third tackle now, and Sheffield just outside their own 30-metre line, but they're running strongly down the right-hand side through Joe Hurst, who clears the 40, plays the ball quickly. Seems to be knocked on there by Telapapa, who was a Leigh player in the way. Telapapa loops the ball to the middle to Quintin Lutonga guy, who veers across, then links with Menzieri. Big tackle there on Menzieri. He was going nowhere and he's wrestling, trying to win the penalty. Plays it quickly to Henderson. Henderson looks to his left for Pat Walker. Walker all tackled though. Good work from the Centurions, and Tommy Goulden again. And on the last tackle, he's kicked into the corner by Michael Knowles. I think Sheffield, after that ropey start to the set, will be quite pleased with how it turned out.
Yeah, well, it looks a bit like it's Sheffield's right hand side against Leigh's left. I think Leigh are focusing most of their attacks through Simon Finnegan and Matt Gardner on their left, and then Sheffield are doing the same but with their right hand side. So we haven't seen much of Menzies, who just came in there, so I think he'll be a strike player for them.
Very much so. There's going to be a scrum packing down. Leigh looking to get the first change underway of the game. Just trying to see who's going to be coming off. It looks like one of the front rowers, because I think it's Tom Spencer standing over on that far right hand side. Leigh have the put in at the scrum, taken at the base by Bezic, who loops it into the arms of Stuart Littler. Littler ran strongly. Strafford tackled him. Leigh 15 metres out from their own line, right in the middle of the ground. One pass to the left finds Gardner. Gardner only makes 5 metres though. Good defence from Sheffield. Hurst and Brambani combining. Now Parker bounces off the first impact of the tackle. Somehow manages to get outside the 30-metre line. Taylor is replaced. Ball comes left. Ridyard spotted a bit of space in front of him. Steps round one. Hands off another. He's still not made any ground forward. Links with Gardner. Gardner gets a scrappy offload away. Finnegan plays it back to Ridyard. Ridyard opening the play up a little bit on the fourth tackle. He's 35 metres out from his own line. Bezic off the deck to McNally, who gets it back to Spencer. Good run from Spencer. Strong first carry, gain 10 metres. Leigh still inside their own half. Last one signal. Ridyard looks up, kicks down the ground. It's in between winger and fullback. Quintin Lutonga guy is back on his own 10 to collect, and he'll bring it towards the centre of the ground and then links it with Turner. Turner busted into the backfield. Great link up from the Sheffield Eagles, and Leigh slowing Turner down and eventually getting to him at the third time of asking. Henderson behind dummy half sends the ball left looking for Telapapa, one of the top championship 3/4. He'll play that ball to Henderson. Stringer keeps it moving to Brambani. Brambani does well to get away from Goulden. Rare missed tackle from him. He's worked himself into half an opening there as well, and then the ball almost ripped from his grasp by Littler, who managed to wrestle the player backwards again.
The chance of crossing there, it looked a bit like obstruction.
Blatant shepherd by Higgins.
Sheffield are playing on though. They're 20 metres out from the Leigh line. Playing the ball will come in from Mitch Stringer. Ball sent left for Pat Walker. He keeps his kick low. It's in behind McNally. McNally takes no chances, just palms the ball out.
Another drop out there, putting some pressure on, but back to that break from from Scott Turner on that left-hand side. He really powered through, and McNally and Ridyard did well to defend that. Ridyard seems to be a step ahead of people. He seems to find an extra yard of space that the other players can't seem to find at the minute.
Still Leigh under the cosh though, Japs.
Still 0-0 though, Derek.
I'll be hoping to get another lucky break from this drop out again. Well, I can't see him letting it happen in twice.
McNally swings the right boot at it. It's a bit lower this time. Creeps its way beyond the 40-metre line. Brambani is there. He sends it right, looking for the big figure of Jack Howison, Scottish international. Played his rugby down at Hemel Hempstead. Link play comes in with Hurst off Henderson. Henderson pointing where he wants his players to be. Runs in field, loops it. On the link play here is Quintin Lutongagai, and Quintin Lutongagai just waltzed his way past a couple of defenders and went underneath the posts.
Well, I'm afraid to say it was coming, that, David. They've been building up the pressure nicely of Sheffield. Leigh have been under the cosh, as I've been saying, for a last set of tattles, and they just found the gap.
It looked to be a hint of a forward pass. What do you think there in the build-up to that?
No, I don't think so. No, I would go along with it being a good try, a well-worked move, and Leigh found wanting in the centre of defence.
So it's first blood to the Eagles, and after that bright start, Leigh not being able to come up with the points on the back of it. Brambani, he's been kicking well recently. 19 goals so far this season. Putting fourth on the championship top goal scorers. Can he add number 20 of the season? It's right in front. He strikes it right footed, and yes, it's between those posts. So 6 points to 0 in favour of the visitors, who I must say are wearing a rather snazzy number of well, it's like lime green, grey shirts. It's a bit garish, really, isn't it?
A number of players wearing lime green boots as well. What do you think to that, Derek?
Wouldn't happen in my day.
Not just lime green, but pink as well over on the far side, orange on this side.
To be fair, if you're wearing different colour boots, you've got to play well, haven't you?
Yeah, the man who scored had lime green boots, and it was a nice little move, so he's earned them.
Ridyard gets us underway again. Mid-range kick out to the right-hand side as far as he was concerned. Walker was underneath it. Does the full 360, look for support, then decided to run it in himself. Now Knowles runs from dummy half, a battling run. Always a keen competitor down that Sheffield left-hand side is Michael Knowles. And he's won a penalty as well because Tommy Goulden was all over him.
I think he played for it a little too, David.
So it's funnelled into touch. Sensible kick forward there. Didn't really gain much by way of momentum, but they've got another set of 6 tackles on the halfway line, then bringing 6 passes before it landed with the player in possession, Straffer, who's right in the middle of the ground. Equidistant from both touch lines. It's brought down the right-hand side now. Armstrong taking over, emerging between a couple of defenders. Ridyard's there to bring him to the deck. Talapapa to his left to Hurst. Sheffield are building in confidence here, aren't they?
Yeah, they're making more yardage now with each tattle.
They're 25 metres out from the line. Henderson links with Howison, who got the ball back. There's a Leigh hand on it, according to the referee. So 0 tackle. Quintin Lutongagai stopped 30 metres out. He'd actually ruled an advantage play there, so they're going to come back for this scrum with head and feet to Sheffield.
Mr. Stokes will once again be the most unpopular man around the sports village.
I don't know about that. It looked like he was going in for the tackle, didn't it? But whenever you seem to do that...
He certainly didn't make a play for the ball.
No. The referees seem keen to pull people up and call it as a play for the ball now, don't they? You mentioned some of the big men there. Jack Howison, who's come on for Sheffield, he's another big boy, isn't he?
So he had some big ones on the bench as well.
The Eagles 12 metres out from the try line. Henderson at dummy half, sends it right for Brambani. Brambani out to Quintin Lutongagai. He drops it back to Mr. Talapapa. Chance here for the Centurions. It's been palmed back. It should be brought.
Should bring them back for the knock-on against Sheffield. Willie.
I'm with you on this one.
He's got to do. Yes, he's got that one right.
Joe, have we got 3 yeses up here?
Yeah, you got it right. He put his hand up to say we're going back to the first tackle, but there was about 3 since then anyway, so...
You do know with us 3 involved, it's like being on Britain's Got Talent.
We can vote whether the referees got it right or not.
We just need some lights in front of us, don't we? Leigh in possession, not for very long though, it's been turned over. Scrappy ball. Menzieri just dabbed it on. This is Turner. Turner going for the line in the corner. He's put into touch. I don't think there's any advantage here. What's the referee? Is he going to rule advantage here?
Well, where's he bringing the scrum back to?
He's bringing it back for the initial offence, so it'll be head and feed Sheffield, I guess. Yeah.
Well, they had 3 goals at that. I mean, you can have 1 advantage, but not 3, surely.
But no knock-ons in the eye of the referee, though, on that occasion.
They looked at...
But they looked like 1 to me. That was
Menzieri dropped it 3 times by himself on that left-hand side. They seemed to cross the advantage line and all, but he's pulled them back and they've got a really good chance to make a mark. They've set a 6-10 yards out.
So the Eagles come down the blind side. Quinton Lalutonga guy. Leigh having their hands full. Every time he gets hold of the ball, he's trying to spark something. The 10 metres out here, Sheffield. Jack Harrison runs for the post. Stop 5 metres out. It's action stations in the Leigh defence. Henderson will bring it left, looking for Walker. Walker to the line. Quick hands. It's been knocked down by the Centurions.
Oh dear. He's got into the tackle. He's taken the player.
That one
this match official has lost control for me.
I think he made a bit of a play more than the last one, but I still don't know whether it should be a Sheffield head and feed. The fans certainly don't seem to think so behind the goal anyway.
They have been stuck in their own 20 metres now for 5 full minutes thanks to the match official.
What it does mean is that there is another set of 6 tackles coming up here for Sheffield. With this welter of possession, surely they're going to have to score.
They're not crossing then.
Brambani doing a little dance in the midfield, rolled on his back by 3 Leigh defenders. The 15 metres out here, Sheffield. Henderson to his right to Harrison. Takes on Spencer. Takes on Parker. He's rolled to the deck. The 10 metres out here though. Hurst, straight down the middle. Good run from him. Oh, he's got in for an easy try. The Leigh defence melted away. It really wasn't any conviction then in the line. It seemed to be fatiguing with all that build-up of possession, and they made it count.
Well, there was no defence whatsoever. He got past the first man and then he simply trampled over McNally. McNally seemed to move out of the way, but when you're defending 4 or 5 sets of 6 on the bounce, it's going to take its toll.
I think that you've got to give credit to that for the match official for the assistance he's given to Sheffield.
Right into the 6 again, so it should be 12.
Yeah, Hurst went over just to the right of the post. It should mean that Brambani could put this one over in his carpet slippers. So the Centurions are going to have to come from behind in this one.
Same as before though, Dave. We mentioned it just before the game that they seem to be starting slowly and then coming out of the traps in the second half, and they're going to have to do that again.
Dominic Brambani tags on the extras. It is 12 points to 0. It's not what we all wanted on a Friday night. Probably the handful of Eagles fans that have travelled across, they're happy as Larry at the moment.
Well, I'm far from happy with the control of this match official, I'm afraid. I think he's ruined the game already.
Trouble is, we've got another 57 minutes of it, Derek.
I know.
Ridyard scoops the foot right underneath it. It's a lengthy restart. Underneath it was Walker. On his shoulder was Hurst. The Eagles 15 metres out from their own line. Henderson to his right to Harrison. You can see the plan though, can't you? They've got this big physical front row, as Joe mentioned before, and they're just trying to bash Leigh into submission.
They use the big men and then they switch out wide quick. They're doing it pretty well, and I was just about to say lean it to hope for an error, and they've got one there.
Robbie.
Oh.
No, that is absolutely diabolical. That's been given by the touch judge on this side. No Leigh player touched that ball.
He hit the ground and it seemed to fall out.
That's
It fell in
right.
Parnell's hands.
When
It should have been
hit the
a
ground,
knock-on.
it dropped out.
What it does mean is the Eagles are inside Leigh territory again. Dwayne Strafford, the former York player, ran straight headlong into 3 defenders. Leading the way was substitute Craig Briscoe, who's just gone on the field.
He's got hold of his arm. This toucher didn't see that. Oh dear me, I'm sorry.
Wouldn't surprise me if they took the 2 here. I know they're playing on quickly, but once again, I can't seem to see why he's given that penalty.
He's given it because their player was holding down Simon Finnegan.
Meanwhile, Mitch Stringer bowls himself 15 metres. He wins a penalty.
See, do we have these team warnings in the Championship? Can referees give out team warnings?
Well, we haven't seen one yet here, but there was a little spin of the hand there, so I think Leigh have been put on their first team warning.
And they have taken the 2 now.
Well, I hope that everyone watching and listening to this can hear what the home supporters think of this match official. And I think they're perfectly correct. He's absolutely out of control. He might as well put a green shirt on. He couldn't do more for Sheffield if he did.
As it stands, I think they do have green jumpers for these referees in the Championship.
I think he normally wears green and he's had to put an orange one on.
Bram Barney, meanwhile, strokes the right boot at it, and the Eagles up by 14 points.
The trouble is, David, people have paid good money to come and watch a game of rugby. All of this seen at the moment is George Stokes.
Out of interest, Derek, what do you actually make the penalty count at the moment?
4-1.
Yeah.
It's a heavy.
And don't forget, we had that business with the scrums where he gave them 3 scrums on the run.
So Leigh have to wrestle their way back into this one. Knowles has it over on that far left-hand side for the Eagles. He's trying to wrestle for another penalty. He's won it.
There's the other wave of the hand again, Dave. I think he's just put them on. If he didn't do one before, he's definitely put them on a team warning now.
Yes, that's definitely a team warning. He's done the old helicopter.
And what was that one for?
That was
holding down.
Holding down, I think, the decision there. Now Menzieri, power pat run. Goulden goes down. He tried to meet him with the shoulder. That's not recommended.
We'll get a penalty again.
No, it's not forthcoming. Sent down the left-hand side. There's Knowles. Knowles inside Leigh territory. They're 7 metres inside the Leigh half. It comes to the middle. Stringer keeps it moving to Harrison. Harrison stopped dead in his tracks by Bezic. He's playing for penalties here. There's a knock-on.
The crowd's cheer says it all. Leigh have got a decision. I think the touch judge gave that a knock-on, so they'll have their head and feet on their own 40, and they'll have to do all they can to not give up the ball in their own set of 6 for once.
So, after being under the cosh for so long, have Leigh got anything in attack? The scrum will pat down 10 metres inside the home half. Bezic wide to Ridyard, who tries to stand up Brambani, but Brambani's all over him. Hurst just watches. Bezic to his right hand side to Briscoe. Briscoe will force his way forward despite the attentions of 3. That's holding down, but they get away with it. James Davey on the field now for Sheffield. Now Spencer. Run down the right hand side, 22 metres in from touch. And inside the Eagles half of the field. It's a rare outing this as far as the last 10 or 15 minutes have gone. Parker will play it in the centre of the field to Bezic, who sends it left looking for Spencer. Spencer seemed to be looking for someone to pass to, then tucked it under his arms, took the ball in, and Leigh 22 metres out on the last tackle. Parker punts the ball high, that's come off a prop. Menzieri wasn't interested. Turner has it over on that left wing, takes on Ryan Briley. The tackle came in.
Fail to see why Rob Parker's getting the ball there on the last tackle. You can see the referee's call, and he just went to him and he didn't want to kick it in. That's the first time Leigh have had possession. Well, we've just crossed the half an hour mark. That's the first time they've had the ball in Sheffield's half for ages, and they've wasted it by giving the ball to the prop forward on the last tackle.
Meanwhile, Sheffield clearing their lines up as far as their own 40-metre line is concerned. He comes to the middle with Harrison, who rumbles it through the middle. 3 players into contact with him. Now Davey runs, then lays it off for Hurst. Hurst. They're really getting momentum, aren't they?
Yeah, they're too quick for Leigh round the acting half-back.
Davey to his right on the last. Brambani got his kick away. It's a tricky one. Taken by Missy Telepapa. He got the ball inside. And John Pownall took it in and then takes a heavy looking tackle. They're all over him. One-handed pick up from McNally.
That's a grapple tackle there. The match officials do nothing.
McNally has won a penalty for his side. He's thrown the ball away. Just get up and play it, Greg.
Bit of fisticuffs here.
I'm not surprised what they're getting away with.
Dwayne Straffer was the player who, shall we say, annoyed the referee. So it's still 14 points to 0. 2 tries so far for the Eagles. Quintin Lutonga with the first one after 17 minutes. Joe Hurst with the second after 23. And 3 goals from the boot of Dominic Brambani. Leigh with the penalty.
Now McNally was nearly strangled by that grapple tackle, and the referee's spoken to him for retaliation and not spoken to the Sheffield player that committed the offence.
It's could be coming towards us.
Ridyard kicks the touch. I think that's sensible, that. He didn't go for major yardage, but just made sure it went out. And here's Ryan Duffy. He's mixing it in the middle. Leigh 30 metres out from their own line. Briscoe carries the battle in. Takes 3 to bring him to the deck. Sean Penkovic is on for the Centurions. He darts and links it right with Spencer. Spencer over the halfway line. Just controlled in the tackle, however, by Knowles. It comes to the middle with Ridyard. He'll come left. Just drops it back over his shoulder to Ryan Duffy. Good run from the big fella.
Made an instant impression. He's had 2 drives now. He's made good yards with both of them. So it'll be good to see how Leigh's bench works, because Briscoe just made a good break and all.
Penkovic to Finnegan down the left. They're outside the 20 here. Last tackle signalled by Mr. Stokes. He comes to Ridyard. He keeps his kick low, but it's easy enough for Pat Walker.
Terrible kick.
It's a waste of a last tackle again. You know, they managed to find the kicker this time, and he just sliced off the outside of his boot. Went straight to a Sheffield man.
Menzieri trying to clear his lines down the left. Over there was Briscoe. Briscoe brought him down. Still the Eagles trying to come forward. Peter Green in possession. 30 metres out. Plays it to Davey. He then sends it right, looking for Jack Harrison. Vastly experienced member of the Sheffield Eagles side now. Over 240 games for the club. He'll play it back to Davey. Tosses the ball to his right. Good tackling from the Centurions though. They've restricted Sheffield in this set. They're still in behind their own half. Clearing kick comes in from Brambani. It'll bounce between winger and fullback. Steve Maiden collects it on that right side. Then powers his way back in. Gets over the 20 metre line. He's still going here, Steve Maiden. Eventually rolled on his back. That's holding down. Nothing forthcoming. Littler takes over, bashing his way through the middle. And gets it out to the 40 metre line. Leigh still inside their own half. Gardner took on Straffer. The second row brought him to deck. Penkovic to Ridyard. Ridyard over the halfway line, flicks the ball out. Finnegan's there. Finnegan back to Penkovic. Now it's wide to Pownall. Pownall's got 3 men in front of him. Takes the sensible option. And he's tackled by Armstrong, 30 metres out from the line. Penkovic to the middle with Ridyard, who dummies once, then gets it on to Briscoe. That was a high-looking tackle on Briscoe. He just gets up and plays it. Last tackle. Penkovic dabs it over the top, but Quintin Lelutonga is there to collect.
Third set in a row there where they've wasted the last tackle and kicked it straight to a Sheffield man.
Can Leigh force an error on Missy Telepapa? Telepapa just outside his own 10. And running to the middle of the field, he'll play it to Davey. Davey across to Peter Green. Good run from Green. Gets an offload away. There's a break on here for Sheffield. It's Knowles. Gets away from one. Goes out and takes on Steve Maiden. Maiden.
Good defence by Maiden, that was.
He just stood up strong, didn't he? Sheffield run from dummy half. Walker in field to Peter Green. He's playing well in the veteran stages of his career. Walker to his right. To Brambani, who's full of running. He's got his way through. There's a man on his shoulder. It's to the left. And away goes Quintin Lutonga once again for the Eagles. He'll come up with his second try. It's now 18 points to 0. And good value for that score.
Certainly are.
They seem to be making a break every set of 6 they get, even when they're stuck in their own half. They seem to find a half break, an offload from somewhere, and that's what Leigh aren't doing. And when you've got players like the fullback who can back up players like that, then they're always going to score tries.
18 points to 0, 36 minutes of the first half gone.
And it's one-way traffic.
Brambani has again another easy opportunity of points. It's right in front of the post, this one. The two halfbacks of the Eagles have gone pretty well, haven't they? They know each other's game because they played together for a season or so at Dewsbury.
Yeah, they're causing problems on both sides now. You've got the standoff on the left-hand side. He's just created a couple of breaks. And like I said before, they seem to be finding breaks every set of 6. And when you look at the score before, 14-0, you think they could get this back. 20-0, can you see them coming back?
The game's almost gone before half-time from the Centurions.
We have seen Leigh come back from these sort of scorelines before, though. A try can make all the difference, but Leigh have got to get near enough to the other end of the field. Ridyard, long restart, Walker's underneath it, comes forward for it, then funnels the ball to his right, to Harrison. Met by a red and white wall, Duffy leading the charge, Green takes over, good run from him. Very much a similar sort of player to Jimmy Taylor. Davey passes right. Shostak slips it out to Brambani. Brambani finding space. He stepped his way out of 2 tackles there, but only runs as far as Ridyard. 35 metres out from their own line. Coming down the right-hand side through Armstrong. Armstrong dragging 3 defenders into him. It's all hands to the deck now for the Centurions as Davey runs forward. Links it with Straffer, who was spun around like a rag doll and put to the turf just inside the Leigh half the field. Last tackle here. Brambani completes it. That's not a good kick from him, straight down the throat of Greg McNally. He'll try and spark a counter for the Centurions.
And Leigh are very slow to get back now for this set of 6, David.
Ridyard spun the ball right, looking for Pownall, who emerged in the middle of the field to try and relieve some pressure off his forwards. He'll play it to Penkovic, who'll pass left for Duffy. Good strong carry once more from Duffy. He's put down just inside his own half of the field. Pownall at dummy half. He'll take on the Sheffield defence. 3 defenders there, but he gets inside the half of the field. Penkovic finds Spencer on his shoulder, coming down the left-hand side. Last tackle here, to the middle with Ridyard. He'll punt it high. Can they put pressure on Quintin Lutonga? Oh, he took it really comfortably. He's got himself into a bit of an opening. Oh, he's away here, Quintin Lutonga. He's down the ground. He's over the 40. Takes on McNally. McNally slowed him down, and Duffy came up with the stop right on the halfway line. But
they had to do.
Sheffield looking really good coming out.
They should have done better with that, Sheffield.
They were lucky he didn't find his man on the right-hand side then, because he'd have been away. And it was actually a good kick on the last tackle for once, but the way he managed to find that gap and sprint away showed real speed.
Hands in at the tackle. The ball has gone loose, and Sheffield have another penalty to their growing tally. Pat Walker takes his time, gets the ball into touch. Importantly, Sheffield 20 metres out from the Leigh line. Can this defence hold? Davey brings it left, looking for Knowles. Strong run, he's inside the 10. In fact, it's Menzieri, he'll play it back. Now it's with Knowles. Knowles taking over the run. Just angled himself at Tommy Goulden. They're trying to tire out
Playing
Goulden.
For penalties again. And the referee's just letting them get on with it.
Davey will dart. Leigh stop him. The third man comes in to chop him to the floor. They're 5 metres out here of Sheffield. Got a good line up to the right-hand side. It comes to Walker. He links with Brambani. Short ball for Sosjak on this right side. 15 metres out here, Sheffield from the line. Davey to Brambani. Brambani kicking over. Tarpapa's unmarked. The bounce evaded him, but it was taken by Tom Armstrong and knocked forward.
I think they've had a real let-off lead there, because that looked to go backwards. If they'd have scored that and taken it to 24-0, that could have been game over at half-time, but it's a real let-off.
No, if they'd have conceded, then that would have been game, set and match for me, if it's not game, set and match already.
Gardner running forward from the dummy half position. Gets it 15 metres out from his own line. He'll play it to Penkovic. Penkovic right for Littler. Littler clearing his lines again. He's done well gaining the yardage in this half for Stuart Littler. Finds his front, plays the ball quickly. Penkovic spots a gap, then got it to the right hand side to Briscoe, who spilled it, and Sheffield have possession once again.
Giving the ball away far too often out there. They're giving Sheffield.
You can't afford to concede before the break.
Well, this will be the last play. It comes left to Menzieri. Yeri all the way down the line and over in the corner. Derek, the commentator's cursed there. It came left to Menzieri and he just blistered his way down the touchline over 30 metres.
How did he manage to get through there? The hooter's gone. All you've got to do is just tidy up your defence, make sure you get your man down. And he just stormed through 2 or 3 of them and racing at the corner. Is that game, set and match, Derek?
Definitely. We can all go home now.
24 points to 0. Don't go home, don't tune off yet. There could be a fight back of epic proportions.
We hope so.
We may need a calculator in the second half.
Is that just for Mr. Stokes' penalty count though?
No, I think the way Sheffield are playing and the way Leigh are playing, they're just not at the races, Leigh, at all.
It means that Dominic Brambani has the toughest of conversion attempts from way out over on the left-hand touchline. He's literally just a stride in from that line. He struck it. It's come back off the post. It's just about the only thing that Sheffield have done wrong in this half. And they go to the half-time hooter and the half-time break, leading by 24 points to 0. We've seen tries from Quintin Lutongai, who's grabbed 2, one from Menzieri just before the break, and one from Joe Hurst. Join us for second half coverage, and we'll be back shortly.